Here is the latest from CDC. Until every person in the United States can get a COVID-19 vaccine, continue to wear a mask, keep at least 6 feet between yourself and others, avoid crowds, and wash your hands often. Emphasis on until every person in the United States of America gets jabbed. With that, I'm going to repeat one more time. Florida, time is running out. I just sent out our first Florida Unites Against Mandated Insanity newsletter to all of those who have signed up here in Florida. I answered your frequently asked questions and laid out our macro plan, the one we must begin implementing right away, as in now, as in swiftly, quickly. The New World Order invaders have set their sights on the final bastions defining our nation, our states. They are set to eliminate this pesky separation of powers set up by our Constitution. States like South Dakota and Florida present a huge obstacle against the New World Order invaders. So they have set their sight on our states using COVID mania, federal emergency grants, and of course, media pressure. They are dead set to get rid of this final obstacle and declare the United States of America, governed by our Constitution, moot. I know there are millions of us here in Florida who are resisting. I know there are thousands of us who are trying to actively counter this coup. I know there are hundreds of groups and networks working to defeat this takeover and insanity. Some are trying to use existing legal tools to challenge them in the courts, that is, in the enemy's courts. Some are working hard to create new legislative bills and then garner support to pass them through the state and House Senates. Some are picketing and waving signs, and some write and produce to inform others. They are all well-intentioned people. They all have their hearts in the right place. All these actions are good and admirable, but time is running out. This is a war, and long-term approaches do not work in the face of imminent danger, imminent invasion, takeover, during an unfolding coup in its final stage. Lengthy court processes fighting the battle on their turf, or petition collection for multiple fragmented bills, not the way to fight and win a war while facing imminent danger. Florida, this is the time to unite in large, very, very large numbers and to assemble speedily. This is the time to go for the head of this snake. This is the time to aim and cut off this snake's head, shielded beneath the COVID armor. I know where and how we can cut off the snake head in our state, Florida. But we must first unite, and to do so quickly. Join us. Please do it now and bring other patriots for a sane and free Florida. Join and unite with us all over Florida via our Florida Unites Against Mandated Insanity opt-in form. Direct link is provided in the description section of this video right above here. Let me tell you something. Yesterday, my 52,000 followers account, Twitter account, was banned by Twitter. The only reason they cited some unusual activity. They are referring to my new Florida Unites Against Mandated Insanity. Yeah. Movement and grassroots activism in Florida is now called suspicious activity. Well, no surprise. I have been expecting this for a while, and the same is coming for this YouTube channel, my 10 plus years old account with over 65,000 followers. But guess what? The enemy is not going to make me retreat. I have been fighting for our nation publicly for 2 decades. The FBI, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, and corrupted federal courts tried very hard, but did not succeed in stopping or silencing me. So these New World Order technocrats have zero chance in hell to make me back off. I'm urging you to act now. First, by joining me and so far hundreds of other pro-liberties patriots in Florida. Unite with us to defeat the coup via mandated insanity. Sign in to our opt-in form, link provided. You know what? Together we can. We certainly can. I'm going to leave you with a brief clip telling you a bit about my activism, my history for those of you who are not familiar with me, and my battle for our nation, the United States of America, and our freedom, our rights. Thank you all. This is Sibel Edmonds, challenging and countering the deep state for 2 decades nonstop.
Sibel Edmonds lives in suburban Washington and never expected to become, in the words of a Vanity Fair headline, an inconvenient patriot.
She is a modern-day Paul Revere. She stood up and said, "This is wrong." And they told her to shut up, and she just kept on talking. And they told her to shut up again and took away her security clearance, took away her job, and she still just kept on talking.
They have threatened me that they would put me in jail.
Edmonds was born in Iran. One of her earliest memories, the Shah's secret police, Savak, searching her family's house in Tehran. Then the Ayatollah Khomeini's revolution. One time, Revolutionary Guards surrounded an 11-year-old Sibel and told her she would go to jail because her headscarf was not modest enough. Her family fled to Turkey. Sibel ended up in college in Maryland. Her languages include English, Farsi, Turkish, and Azerbaijani. After 9/11, Edmonds decided to go to the FBI. They did not have a single translator who could speak Turkish. She became a contract linguist, translating conversations, seized documents, and wiretaps of foreign officials under suspicion.
And she discovered, in fact, that there had been serious security breaches which could jeopardize the work and jeopardize the investigations. And also that, in fact, there was a person that she was just convinced was a spy from another country.
She told her boss, and her boss's boss, but nothing changed. Then further, the Justice Department, the Office of the Inspector General, and 2 senators on the Judiciary Committee. When action was taken, it was the FBI firing her. They said for her disruptive effect on the translating unit. She brought suit against the FBI for firing her. But the Department of Justice invoked the state secrets privilege, saying that hearing the case would jeopardize national security. The case was dismissed. She never even got into court. The government retroactively classified briefings that Edmonds had made to senators, yet she continued to speak out. Finally, the independent Office of the Inspector General, the OIG, investigated. Their report? Immediately classified by the FBI. But when an unclassified version was released, it confirmed Sibel's story. Quote, "Many of her allegations had bases in fact. We believe the FBI did not take them seriously enough, and that her allegations were, in fact, the most significant factor in the FBI's decision to terminate her services." Even with that report, the appeal of her case was denied. So she took her case to the highest court in the land. The Supreme Court declined to hear it. Her supporters cite the ultimate irony. The hearing was denied the same day that a hunk of marble from the Supreme Court's facade fell to the pavement. But her cause is not over. The Paul Revere Freedom to Warn Act and a similar Senate bill to strengthen protection for government whistleblowers will now make its way through Congress because of Sibel Edmonds' case.
She's a First Amendment cannonball. She speaks up for what she believes in. She's a leader. The fact that she not only was a strong advocate for her own case, but she became a strong advocate for the public policy, for the greater good.
She had the intuition, the courage, the backbone to stand up and do it. And we are very grateful to her. And the Penn Award is significant in that regard. Tell the public what happened and that Sibel Edmonds was a heroine in this.
Sibel Edmonds is an American patriot. She has a classic story to tell, which is the story of an immigrant who came here seeking more freedom and seeking a real democracy, and was unfortunately kind of shut down when she tried to exercise her rights under the First Amendment.
I'm Paul Newman. For the past 14 years, we've been honoring courageous Americans who have defended their First Amendment rights against overwhelming odds, and in so doing, affirmed the protection of the First Amendment for all of us. Sibel Edmonds adds luster to this distinguished group of honorees with her refusal to back down from her confrontation with the FBI. In his straight-talking way, President Harry Truman said, "Whenever one American who has done nothing wrong is forced by fear to shut his mouth, then all Americans are in peril." Sibel Edmonds would not let an intimidating FBI shut her mouth, and as a result suffered grievous consequences. But she has persevered, and we are better off for her sacrifices.
Penn American Center is pleased to present Sibel Edmonds with the 2006 Penn Newman's Own First Amendment Award.